Okay. First off, happy holidays. Ooh, the camera's having a hard time focusing on me, depending on where I move. Let me know if the video quality is good. First off, and the audio quality is good. We'll get going on this treasure hunt. I'll explain the rules real quick. It looks like we've had concurrently around 7 to 10 people, which is pretty average. But before I begin, I just want to make sure that I cover the rules just in case there's anybody new. And make sure that the video and audio quality is good. And my hair's not on point. Hello, Snoozy. Thank you. Sounds good. Looks good, maybe. Well, all you really need to do is hear me. So let's get going. It's a busy time of year, and I'm also a busy boy. So everybody's been waiting for about 15 minutes. I'll explain the rules real quick. This is a treasure hunt I designed that we do every Wednesday. And before I go over the rules, just know that the holidays are coming up. So the next 3 Wednesdays, we will not have a treasure hunt live stream because for those who celebrate Christmas, that's going on. And then right afterwards, we got New Year's. So you're just going to have to look out. I'll post on the channel whenever we'll have the next one. We'll start the year off. My game plan is after we start going again, with the exception of holidays or like emergencies that happen, we'll be doing this every Wednesday of the month at the same time. Okay. This week, just because it's Christmas time, you can win $100 being the first one to solve where the treasure is located. So kind of how I designed this hunt is the treasure could be a location and or an object, or it could be both. The example I like to give is like the Statue of Liberty has a physical like P.O. box address or something like that, and it is also an object. And the only reason I know it's like a P.O. I looked it up. It has a weird address. Also, another example, if you're not in the United States, everybody also knows the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is both an object, it's a big building, and a physical location. The location or object could be like geological, or it could be man-made. It's not going to be anything living, and it's going to be 100% on the planet Earth. It's not going to be on the moon. Every 15 minutes or so, which because and I kind of play this by ear, you'll get a new clue. Like the first clue you're going to get here in a second, you'll get a hint. Or I could tighten the location using Google Earth as a reference, which I didn't open before I hit this stream up, so I don't know if it's going to cause issues. Sometimes it does. But we will figure it out as we go. So I'll look to the chat. If anything's not clear, let me know in the chat right now. And I will give you the first clue. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Let me share screen. Okay. Perfect. Yep, works good. Okay, I was just making sure that Google Earth worked also. Okay, so let's hit this first clue. Let's get going on this. And from there, every 15 minutes, like I said, I will give you a new clue, a hint, or tighten the location. I will repeat the rules as we go along. In this first clue, I will read out and also post in the chat. All right. Let's see. I mess this up every week. Okay, and this is clue number 1. Coming right at you. And this is also part of clue number 1. And I will read it and show it on the screen now. So this is the first clue of this $100 treasure hunt. And remember, the first person to type into the chat the location or object will win $100. And hopefully it helps you out during the holiday season. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. That's clue number 1. I will read it again. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. That's clue number 1. And we got the first guess, ice skating rink, Rockefeller Center. That is incorrect. Nice. Thank you for the first guess. Remember that you will get a new clue like the clue you just got. I can give you a hint, and how the hint works. It's always easier to explain once the clues are up. You would vote for hint, and you would say, what did you mean by it is like yin and yang, sort of? And then I would, in the hint, I would tell you that specific part. Because this first clue is so beefy, meaning there's so many parts to it, I can't give you a hint on the whole thing. So whoever votes for hint will just say, hey, I'm creepy at night. And how it's going to work is majority rule. You will type into the chat, either you want a new clue, you want a hint, or you want me to type in the location. Using Google Earth, I can make it big, full screen, all that jazz. And I will show you where it's at. Right now, it's anywhere on the planet Earth. And remember, it's a location and or an object. In our past treasure hunts, we've used mountain ranges. We've used a fountain that was located in San Francisco. We used waterfalls that were in Antarctica. So it's pretty broad at this point. It could be anywhere in the United States. And Jon Snow's wall. Nope. Cool guess, but that is also incorrect. And if you see me pop up real quick, 'tis the season, and I am waiting for packages, and this is my day off. And so they may or may not deliver a package that I have to sign for while I'm sitting here on the computer. I just pan over to Google Earth, tell you guys I'll be a second, sign for the package, and everything will be good to go. As of right now, it's anywhere located on the planet Earth. There's no hints, and you've only been given the one clue, which is, I can melt although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. That's where we're at. With 2 guesses from Sasha. And that is about it. It is 4:24, so let's just say at 4:30, because that's about 15 minutes. I know I gave you the clue a little bit later. At 4:30, just type into the chat whether you want a new clue, you want a hint to an existing clue, or if you want me to isolate the location using Google Earth. And we have our first vote from Cernuzzi, a clue. And just remember, Cernuzzi, that the clue will be much like the first clue you have, just not as beefy. You could even say that this first clue that I'm putting on screen right now has multiple clues in it. When I give you a new clue, it'll probably be like 1 line, possibly 2 lines. It all depends on what I need to throw out an entire clue, and I don't want to limit myself just to one sentence. It may take multiple sentences, but it'll be 1 clue in the new piece of information. Well, this piece of information, it's all 1 piece of information. It's just I have to break it up, because it's just the format that they allow in the chat. But this contains multiple clues in it, and it's safe to say almost every single line is its own separate clue. Now, if you voted for hint, I would tell you what I meant by one of these lines. That's kind of how it works. And then Google Earth, I mean, I'm sure people are familiar with the format, especially if you've seen some of my other videos. As of right now, our past winners are Ohio River History, Christine Cornejo, Digging Richmond, Mike Haverstock, Stitched, times 2, meaning that Stitched has won twice now. He's our last week's champion. Arizona Mort Squad and Tiffany Thomason. So those are our past champions. This is the 9th live stream, which I'm thinking about it. I should have waited till the 10th live stream to probably do $100, but I just did it because it's Christmas time and people have been generous with their donations and stuff like that. So I figured I'd get back a little bit during the holidays. We have another guest from Sasha, and it's Montreal Glacier. That is incorrect. Thank you for the guess. Right now, Sasha, you're the only one that's come up with some guesses, and that's great. Love it. Here in about 4 minutes, we're going to vote on whether I give you a new clue, a hint, or I'll tighten the location. Right now, we only have one vote from Sir Newsy for a clue. And I'm going to go off what the majority says. So if 3 people vote for a hint and 1 person votes for a clue, I'll give you guys a hint. If 3 people vote for tighten location, but 5 people vote for clue, I will give you clue. So it's all based off of a democracy type system in the chat. As of right now, nobody has guessed correctly. You could win $100 by finding the treasure, which is a location and or an object. The examples I've given before are the Statue of Liberty. It both has an address and is like an object. In our past treasure hunts, we did last week's was a geyser, or not a geyser. It was a hot spring sort of thing. It was where water pops up out of the ground in the desert on a hike that's located near Area 51. That's a popular hiking spot. We've done a fountain. And the fountain was located in San Francisco at the Ghirardelli. That's right there at Aquatic Bay. So if you ever go to San Francisco, you'll know where that's at because the trolley car, that's one of the pickup spots for it. It's a pretty popular spot. We've had a waterfall, Blood Falls, that was in Antarctica. So remember, it could be like a geological, man-made object, something like that, but it's not going to be anything living or a person or anything like that. And we've had winners every single week, and it's happened the last couple of weeks within an hour. So in about 2 minutes, I will give you a new clue, a hint, or I'll tighten the location. We have the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. That is also incorrect. And unless I get votes from somebody else in the next 2 minutes, you will receive a new clue at 4:30. Because Sir Newsy is the only one that's voted in the chat. While we're waiting, I will reread the first clue. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. So that's the only piece of information or pieces of information that you've been given. We have a clue, another vote for a clue, and another vote for location. So it's looking like I'm going to give you guys a new clue here at exactly at 4:30. I'll type it into the chat and I will read the new clue. Let me put the first set of clues up again. This is the first pieces of information. Oh, we got Canadian ice roads. I clicked the wrong one. That is incorrect, but good guess. Okay, it's 4:30. I'm going to come up these clues I come up with on the spot. And so let me think. What can I give you that's not too obvious? Here we go. And I'll type in here clue number 2. Okay, perfect. Check out the chat. I will also put it up on the screen. Your second clue is I have pretty lights. That's the second clue. So this is the second piece of information you've been given. Remember, it's an object and or a location. Also, that it's 4:31 now. You will receive a new clue, a hint, or I can tighten the location using Google Earth, like you see here. And the two pieces of information you've been given are I melt although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. Clue number 2, I have pretty lights. And we have another guess from Sasha. PY1 Montreal. Good guess, but that is also incorrect. So far, nobody has guessed correctly. We've been live for about 15 minutes or so. It normally takes about an hour to solve it. Remember, if you are the first one to get the location or object or whatever it is correct, you need to type it in the chat, and that is how you can win $100. I will then stay on here. You'll email me at Treasure Trail Contact. I'm going to send you like a set of numbers. That way I can verify that whoever's emailing me is the same person that guessed it right in the chat, because I've had people try to pull a fast one on me. Then we will communicate, and I will, get you the money however you see fit. I can send it via, mail, like cash or something like that, or I could use any like Cash App or PayPal or something like that. PayPal has been a popular one, so whatever's easiest for you. Remember, you will receive a new clue, a hint, or I will tighten the location. And we have had past winners every single time we've done this. Ohio River History, Christine Cornejo, Digging Richmond, Mike Haverstock. Stitched has won in the past, and he won last week. So 2-time winner Stitched. Arizona MORT Squad and Tiffany Thomason. Let's check it out. Location, a Christmas tree, or a snowman. None of those guesses are correct. Good guesses, though. I've only given you the 2 pieces of information. I'll put them up on the screen real quick, let you read through them. Now, it's important to know, like, this first piece of information, which is this plus this, are the most important pieces of information that you can receive. With this and with this, it should, in my brain, it leads you exactly to where I'm talking about. These additional clues and hints, the hints are real good because it kind of lets you know, like, what did I mean by I can melt although I am cold? Or you could say, what did you mean by I'm creepy at night? Or you could even ask, what do you mean by I have pretty lights? And then I could, from there give you more information. As of right now, nobody has guessed the correct location or object. Here in about 10 minutes, you'll receive a new clue, a hint, or I could tighten the location using Google Earth. Boom, just like that. I'll take Google Earth, and then I will spin this globe. I can zoom in, zoom out, anywhere, and then whatever's in focus, so whatever I'm zoomed into, it'll be in that area. So if I zoom into Africa, or if I zoom into South America, like if I zoom into South America, it's not going to be in Africa. If I zoom into Africa, it's not going to be in South America. Right now, it can be anywhere located on the globe. But those 2 clues that I give you, the big clue number 1 and clue number 2 are the only pieces of information that you have at this point. Two more guesses, but one by Sasha, Westchester's Winter Wonderland, and then another one by Mike Haverstock, St. Michael's Russian Orthodox Cathedral. Both those are, I've actually never heard of this one. This sounds pretty awesome, but they're both incorrect. Thank you for the guesses. that is not the location or object that has been chosen for today's hunt. And remember, just throw a guess in whenever you figure out something, like Mike has done, like Sasha has done, and the first one to guess correctly will be the winner of this $100 treasure hunt that we've set up this week. Remember also, if you enjoy this hunt, share this hunt, even post video. The more the merrier. Each week the number jumps up or down. I don't really share this hunt anywhere. I have in the past, but I don't share the hunt every week just because I don't want to be annoying in the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. But our average is probably 10 to 12 people, something like that. We've had as much as 25 people in one hunt, and then as low as, this is probably one of our lower hunts. We're like jumping from like 8 to 10 or something like that. So just remember, share this hunt, invite your friends, all that wonderful jazz. The more the merrier. Here in about 9 minutes, you'll receive a new clue, a hint, or I can type the location using Google Earth. We have Sasha with the North Pole. We have Cernuzzi with Vatna Jokol Glacier. And we have Sasha with Hotel des Glaces. All great guesses. None of them are correct. So at this point, we've had a bunch of guesses, but nobody has guessed the correct location. You'll receive a new piece of information, like I said, here in about 8 minutes now. The only pieces of information you've had are the first two clues that are in the chat. And remember, like I said, this very first piece of information has been the most important piece of information that I've given you. And if you enjoy doing this, like I said, stick around to the end, because even if somebody guesses it correctly and you don't know how they got that, like how did they guess that correctly, I go over the clues, hints, all that stuff, and I explain exactly what I meant by it, which gives you an edge for the next time we have a treasure hunt. Right? As of right now, our first vote is to tighten the location. How location works is I will use Google Earth, and I will zoom into a specific spot, and then after I zoom into that specific spot, it eliminates everything that it's not zoomed into, if that makes sense. And that is the only vote right now, which we will do that in about, it looks like 6 or 7 minutes. You'll get that piece of information unless somebody else votes otherwise. And I've actually been looking into getting some music done, because like I said, I get, when I'm sitting here and there's like little pauses in between each piece of information, or if I'm waiting for somebody to answer, I thought it'd be fun to get like a Jeopardy style theme, but I can't use, how YouTube works is they'll pull your stream down if you're using something that's copyrighted. So I've been talking to certain individuals and trying to see if I can't get some music made. I think that'd be a little more fun and make it a little more, I don't know, entertaining. As of right now, nobody's guessed correctly. Oh, also, if you're ever waiting for the stream, check out some of our videos. We just uploaded a video where we did some bottle hunting. We do metal detecting. We do armchair treasure hunting, all that stuff. Like, I know for a fact that Sasha guessed Monumento Minimo. No, that is incorrect. Good guess, though. I know that Sasha and Jason both were into the Forest Fen treasure hunt. That is an armchair treasure hunt that I was really into with my grandma. She actually got to go out to Wyoming and look at some of the spots that we were looking at. We had our own kind of take on some of the hints and clues, and so that's what really got me going with making the YouTube channel that we have now, because we were involved with so many treasure hunts, that sort of thing, and metal detecting and magnet fishing. We do it all. Like, we're into all that stuff. It's like a big hobby of ours. And we have a presence actually on YouTube where we have about 2,000 subscribers. We have about 4,000 subscribers on TikTok. And then we have about, I think, 3,000 subscribers, something like that, on our Instagram, where we post all of our finds. So if you haven't checked out our other social media, check us out. We also share this and other people's, we do some live streams and stuff like that where we hop on other people's podcasts and whatnot. So if you get the time, check that out. It looks like we have another guess by Mike Haverstock. Gold Creek Salmon Bake, Pelton Wheels. Good guess. That is also incorrect. So at this point, nobody has guessed the location or object correctly. We're about 4 minutes from either giving you I got to pull this up, new clue, hint, or to tighten the location. So far, we've given you 2 clues. I'll go back over the clues. So you need to type into the chat either new clue, hint, or tighten location. And then at about 4:45, I will either tighten the location using Google Earth as a reference. I can give you a hint about the past clues that I'm going to go over now, or I can give you a brand new clue altogether. So let's check out the chat. A lot of former champions here. We got Arizona Mort Squad, global warming, and we got Arizona Mort Squad, gingerbread night. And we got Mike Haverstock voting for clue, while Jason Dent is voting for location. So we're going to need a tiebreaker. Somebody's going to need to either type location or whatever. There's about 8 to 9 people jumping in now. So let me know in the chat whether you want a new clue, a hint, or to tighten the location. While we're waiting, it looks like Sasha is type location. So it looks like I will tighten up the location. And Cernuzzi also said location. And then we have Donna Free with a clue. So we have 3 locations to 2 clues, I believe. 1, 2, yeah. So it looks like it's going to be location unless we get some other votes in. Oh, like 4. We have another location, it looks like. So we have 4 locations to 2 clues. So here at 4:45, I will tighten the location up unless I get other information using Google Earth. Right now, you've been given 2 pieces of information, which have been clues. One's the bigger clue that you get in the beginning. And I'll read through them again. And remember, this very first clue you get is a big piece of information. But it says, I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night, alas. I need something. I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. And then I also need to practice learning how to read out loud. Clue number 2. I have pretty lights. And here in about 2 minutes, you'll be given your third piece of information, which I will start doing right now, I'm going to take the planet here on Google Earth. I'll spin it around for you. So this would be a perfect time for music. And I'm going to zoom into a location. So say the location's in Australia, right? I'll zoom into it, and then everything outside of Australia will be incorrect. Or if I zoomed into South America, whatever I zoom into, it's going to be somewhere here. Like say I go, this is just an example, but say I go to Brazil, it's not going to be in Brazil, right? Because this is an example. But if I zoom in, whatever I zoom into, it's only within the border of the screen. Meaning that I'm in South America right now, so it's not going to be in the United States, or it's not going to be in China, or it's not going to be in Africa, or anything like that. So whatever I zoom into, I haven't zoomed into it yet, but whatever I zoom into, that's how you'll know where it's not at or where it is at, right? Where it's at is going to be broad, but it's actually like zooming in and taking the scale down of the hunt. We have we have 2 guesses. We have Kastner Glacier and we have Polar Vortex. It's about time right now to zoom in with Google Earth. Remember, what I zoom into, that is where it's located. It may be a big area, but that's where it's located. Anything that's not shown in the image, it's not there. Hopefully that makes sense. I know some people get confused every week when I do this, and I try to be as clear as possible. So let's hit it. Okay, so it's somewhere within the boundaries of what you're seeing now. Let me remove the banner. There we go. So I'm going to make it full screen for a second. Check it out. I have just tightened the location. That means in 15 minutes, that's still going to be around 5 o'clock. You will get a new clue, a hint, or I will tighten the location. Looking at the chat, we have Juneau, Alaska, and Polar Bear. Those guesses are incorrect. Good guess, though. You've been given 2 other pieces of information. Let me pull it up. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. With the second clue being, I have pretty lights. We have another guess. Night Island in Alaska. Good guess, but that is also incorrect. So at this point, nobody has solved this week's treasure hunt. The first person to do it, you can win $100 by finding the treasure. Also, I want to thank Jason Dent for donating last week. I really appreciate it. That's really cool of you. Remember, we've had past winners every treasure hunt. They're up there on the board. And then after you win, so say you're the person, that individual that wins today, and during the live stream, so you can't leave, you will email me here, treasuretrailcontact@gmail.com. I'm going to send you like a little pin. It's going to be a made-up number in my head, so that way I can verify that it's you. I've had other people try to email me and say that they're the individual, and I just don't want to give your winnings to somebody that's not the correct person. Arizona MORT Squad has thrown out the guess of igloo. That is incorrect. Good guess. As of right now, like I said, nobody's won. And if you're the first person to type the correct location and or object into the chat, you'll be this week's winner. We normally do these treasure hunts. How I've been doing it is $20 a week. We've had some donations from Brockton Magnet Fishing. Jason gave us some money. So some individuals have been donating money each week. So I just increased the amount of money to whatever it is. Like I think Jason gave us $20, so that would have made it $40 this week. But I decided to give away $100 this week just because it's Christmas time. Whether you're into Christmas or whether you're not a fan of it, it's the holiday season for many religions and other countries or whatever. And so like winter solstice or whatever. So this time of the year, there's a lot of individuals that it gets a little pricey, especially for New Year's and stuff like that. So I figured I'd be a little generous and just give a little bit more because I know that people for the most part could use it. And also, who doesn't like a little more money? As of right now, like I said, nobody's guessed it correctly. If I need to go over the rules again or anything like that, let me know in the chat. But as of we got about 10 minutes or so, you'll vote on whether you want a new clue, a hint, or me to tighten the location. I'm going to go over all 3 pieces of information. Now, I repeat these pieces of information, but they're very important. With the very first piece of information, you should be able to at the least get locked into an area and then just start guessing around that area. Draw a circle around that area that it brings you to, and then whatever it is should be obvious. Sometimes I get it. It's not obvious because I interpret things differently than other people, but that's why I give new clues. I give hints, or I can tighten the location. The pieces of information that you've been given, I'll read out again and put them up on the screen. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. That is the first piece of information. So let me do that one more time. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. Alas, I exist next to something monumental. Find me and win. The second piece of information. I have pretty lights. Cool. And then the third piece of information. Right here. It's located somewhere shown in the image. Let me remove the banner for a second. So check that out. It's somewhere in there. If it's not shown in this Google Earth image that you're seeing right now, it's not there. So for instance, I can safely say that it's not in Europe because we're not near Europe. Europe is not shown in this image, if that makes sense. Let me check out the comments. We have a couple guesses. We have Igloo City, Alaska, Twin Sawyers, and Nick Glacier. I also just found out that this is probably a good way to make me say something inappropriate. If you type in something bad in there, I'll probably inadvertently just read it and look like a big dummy. So I have now made a mental note of that, and I will be careful how I read some of these guesses. I know I think everybody here is pretty serious, but it'd be a good way to make me say something I'm not supposed to. And remember, you will receive a new clue, hint, or I will tighten the location here in the next 9 minutes. We've had past winners every week. I like to throw them up there just so you know that there is an end to the rainbow. There's a pot of gold on every single one of these treasure hunts, and that's how I designed it. This week's a cool hunt because you can win $100 by finding the treasure. So just by sticking around, looking through the clues, doing a little bit of research from your computer chair, a little bit of armchair treasure hunting, you could win $100 by finding the treasure. Cool. If you win, and how you win is you type it into the chat. The first person to type the correct location and or object into the chat will win. You will then email me immediately. I will send you some numbers. You'll read those numbers back to me so I can verify it's you, and then we will start a communication on how you'll receive the $100 from this week's hunt. Cool? Piece of cake. Same. It's been the same every week, but I like to repeat that so everything's clear. Let's go back to the comments. We have Knights Ferry Bridge. That is incorrect. Good guess, though. I appreciate all the guesses tonight. The chat's very active, which makes it a lot more fun. Remember, we have about 7 minutes or so. We have to vote on whether it's new. I can tighten the location. I can give you a new clue, or I can give you a hint to one of the clues that I gave you. How that works is, for instance, guessing stuff with Knights in it, Knights Ferry Bridge and Knight Island, Alaska. So if you voted for hint, if that was what you voted for, you could say, this is the first piece of information that I gave you. I can melt, although I am cold. It is like yin and yang, sort of. There are many of me, but I am only here in winter. I am creepy at night. So you could literally say to me, I vote for hint, and if that's the popular vote, you would say, what did you mean I am creepy at night? And I will 100% tell you. That's how the hints work. I would tell you exactly what I meant by that line, like why that line's important. Jumping down, vark.tech. I'm not sure what that means. So yeah. As of right now, and it's actually getting pretty dark in my house. The heck? I should have left the line on. But I'm lit up pretty good, so that's fine. It was one of my windows was open, and so that it was like natural light coming in. As of right now, you've only been given 3 pieces of information, so it's important that you vote on whether you want a new clue, which will be like the clues I've given you, hint, or location. We have Idita Rod Trail. No, good guess. I didn't know if that was you just trying to make me say something bad. I had to look at it for a second, but maybe it was a real guess. As of right now, we have somebody has typed in hint and somebody has typed in clue. So it's about time for a new clue, hint, or location. So type into the chat whatever the majority is. That will be. Oh, see, my camera's getting out of focus when I lean too far to the right. Whatever the vote is, the majority vote, that is the individual will get what they want. because Mike is the first one to type hint, and Sasha has also typed hint, so it's looking like we're gonna do hint. Mike, you just have to let me know, unless you get beat out by everybody else, what hint you want. And remember, so I'll explain it one more time. I know, Mike, you've won before, but just for everybody else, we have a guess also, Bear Lake. That is incorrect. Good guess, though. Mike, since you voted for hint, what that means is on these first two pieces of information, you could say, I want a hint on that first line, or I want a hint on, what did you mean by it is like yin and yang, sort of, right? Or you could say, what like the hint is, what did you mean by I'm creepy at night? You get what I'm saying? Or you could get a hint on the second clue. And it's looking like it's going to be hint. We have about 4 minutes or so. So, Mike, let me know what hint you want. I'll wait to see if anybody says anything else in chat. Remember, you can vote on whether it's, let me pop it back up, a new clue, a hint. I combined clue and hint for a second. I said Clint. A new clue, hint, or to tighten the location. Now, remember, I've only given you 3 pieces of information. So, you know that it's somewhere here. And you know the first 2 clues, which I'll cycle back up. Here's clue number 2. And here's the big piece of information, clue number 1. That's where we're at. Let me go back to the comments real quick. We have Ice Art Park in Fairbanks. Good guess. And then we have Town Square Park. Good guess. Those are both incorrect. As of right now, nobody has won this treasure hunt. Remember, if you are the first person to guess the object or location, you will win $100. And we've had past winners every week. And after you win, stick around because you're going to have to email me. I'll send you a number, and then I'll get to your money via PayPal. I can send it in the mail. I can have an Eagle fly it to you, whatever's going to work out the best for you. But we'll communicate via this email. But I'm going to need you to email me during this live stream. If you're the winner, I will send you a pin just to verify it's you. So that way somebody else doesn't make an email similar to yours and then hit me up and act like they're you and try to get, your winnings. We're about a minute away from giving you that looks like it's going to be hint. We've had more votes for hints. So Mike and or Sasha, whoever the first person is, it doesn't really matter. I'll just go whoever the first person is in the chat. Let me know what you want to hint on. Remember, it's got to be a specific part of what it is. We have Jousting Nights, Ice Sculpture, and the Ice Museum in Shayna. So actually, we are completely done because it looks like Sasha Dent has guessed it correctly pretty quick. That would be by far the fastest. That is the fastest solve we've had. We've had it to where it's been about 55 minutes and about an hour. But Sasha Dent has won $100. Okay. So, winner, chicken dinner. Sasha, I'm going to need you or Jason, to shoot me an email right now. I'll put my email up real quick, and then I'll go over the clues and explain how she was able to figure it out. My email is treasuretrailcontact@gmail.com. That's 100% it. So I'm going to leave that up for a second. But super cool. Okay, awesome. So yeah, Sasha figured it out. I'm going to go over the clue sticker. I'm going to go over the clues, and I'm going to explain exactly how it worked. So Sasha is a first-time winner. Congratulations. Killed it. That was pretty quick. So the correct answer, like I said, was Jousting Nights, Ice Sculpture in the Ice Museum in Shayna. And it'll make sense as soon as I explain it. But that was actually a pretty quick solve. I thought after this next piece of information, somebody was going to get it. But that was the fastest solve we've had. Congratulations, Sasha. Let me put my email back up there. Let me add you to the winner list. I think I spelled your name right. Maybe. Let's see. I'll fix it if I didn't. Let's see. Okay, I spelled it right the first time. Cool. So let me go over, Sasha, I need you to shoot me an email ASAP, and then I'm going to send you some random numbers that I'm going to think of right now just to verify it's you, so that way I can get you the money. I also have Jason on my email, so if you'd rather him contact me, if you don't want to go through all that trouble, I can talk to Jason. I have him on some of my past messages. We can go that route also. Okay, and it says roll our win into future hunts. So it looks like we'll start the new year off with we'll just call it another $120 hunt. No, you keep the money. Jason guessed correctly. Okay, cool. Well, that makes it fun. So that means the next time we do this, it'll be a $120 hunt. That'll be in the new year. So somebody will be able to win that and start the year off with $120 because by request, I will donate it into the future hunts. So that'll be a good one. Awesome. Thanks. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Jason. I really appreciate that. Happy holidays to everybody else, or happy whatever if that's not what you're into. Let me go over the clues so it makes sense, because I'm sure that there's some questions about some of the clues. Now, with the location, it's pretty easy. If you look, we have Alaska right there. I can type into Google Earth where the chain of hot springs is. Let me do that, and it's going to do its thing where it zooms in. Perfect. Boom. If you find yourself in the chain of hot springs, up here to the right, I believe it's this building or maybe even the building below it, the one that's abused, that one right there, is the Ice Museum. Cool. So that's how you could have found it by Google Earth. Yeah. Did you break the record? 100%. Yeah, you got it really quick. By like 5 minutes or something like that. I think last week it was like 55 minutes, and I think you did it in about 50 minutes, give or take, maybe like 40 something. But we'll just call it 50. I mean, we don't need to keep the stats that accurately. It's really cool that you are 100% the fastest solve. And then if we get to where I'm just thinking in the future somebody's going to say it faster, but yeah, you got it the fastest. Let me go over the clues, the information, so that way you know exactly what I meant by it. I can melt, although I am cold, right? Obvious, because it's ice. Ice can melt, and you're like, well, although I am cold, because the reason it's cold is because in Alaska, especially during the winter, right, it's not going to melt. The sculptures are going to be able to maintain their form. It's like yin and yang, sort of. So I did yin and yang for two reasons. First reason is because it's like hot and cold, right? Opposite, because there's a hot springs in the middle of freezing cold. That's what's kind of popular about the place, right? It's like a hot springs place, but you go out there and it's like negative 20 degrees or negative 30 degrees while you're out there at the hot spring. Also, the name is China Hot Springs, and I always thought that was kind of close to like China Hot Springs. And I don't know if the yin and yang is specific to China, but that's what I thought of whenever I threw it in there. And so you have both that hot versus cold, and then kind of, yin and yang China. So there's maybe something there, but mostly is for the hot and the cold. There are many of me, but I am only here in the winter. Now, that can mean two different things. Because it's a museum, right, or a sculpture, there are many sculptures or museums, right? And I'm only here in winter, and so that's a museum that's really only around because the ice sculptures will melt in the summer. It's just too hot. They're popping in the winter, if that makes sense. I am creepy at night, and this probably threw some people off, but if you look at how I broke up creepy, you have Cree, right? Ignore the PY, but you have Cree, and then I misspelled night. So that I'm saying night like NIGHT, right? But there's the night statue that's a popular one, but you could also go CREEK, like creek. And that goes into the next one, which is Alas, which is part of Alaska, if you didn't get that. I exist next to something monumental. So the creek that's right there is Monumental Creek. So using those two sentences, you can kind of put together like, oh, it's a creek. He's saying creek, but what creek is it? And maybe you'd be like, it's Alas Creek. Maybe it's Monumental Creek. Because Monumental was supposed to be designed there as a name. I could have capitalized Monumental, but I felt like that would have been too obvious. Find me and win. It's just find me and win. Nothing super specific there. I just wanted to end it kind of cool. And then if we go clue number 2, I have pretty lights. Aurora Borealis. People go to the chain of Chain of hot springs. And they go there to like bathe underneath the Northern Lights. It's like one of the most popular Northern Light spots in Alaska. If you Google it, it's what it's known for. So Sasha Dent was correct with her guess of the Jousting Knights ice sculpture at the Ice Museum in Chena. And honestly, I knew that I've been to that museum. If you watch one of our YouTube videos, we went there and visited some friends in Alaska. And so I threw the Knights in there because it's a very popular statue that they have. But if anybody would have just guessed Ice Museum at Chena, I would have got it. So you just got it even more. So, but if like I thought most people would figure out sculptures or ice sculptures, and maybe they would have found the statues and then got the building. But it looks like you just got it all in one shebang. That's where we're at. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you're celebrating, or if you're not celebrating, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that if anything, you're spending time with family, friends, that sort of stuff. We're going to start this. Ice Alaska Night was in my search term. See, and that's why I threw that in there, both for the K, for creek, and night. Very cool. So it worked out good. And so we have similar thought process. And so that worked out great. Or Jason, and Jason, I guess, is the one that found it, but you guys are probably a dream team, so that works out. So starting the new year, I will probably update the stream, meaning I will try to do something to add some music to it. That's also why I want to take a break. Increase the stream quality. This camera that I have goes up to 4K quality, that sort of stuff. The audio and video quality should be pretty good. Maybe throw in some sort of background. Maybe mess around with the times that we do this a little bit. Maybe I can do it a little bit later or something like that. Start at 5 instead of 4. It all depends on my schedule. I want to do that. I want to have this hunt every Wednesday or so. But that's kind of where we're at with this. As of right now, because of all the different holidays and stuff going on, we're going to take a little break. I will see you guys in the new year. What I'll do is I'll try to upgrade the stream and then promote it out there on everything. Hopefully it won't be an issue, Jason or Sasha, to promote it on your guys' Facebook page. I'm going to promote it on my social media, all that jazz. And then over the break, I'll be uploading more treasure hunting videos because we do a lot of treasure hunting when we have time off of school and whatnot. So make sure that you check out some of our videos, show us some love. If you have any other, if you ever want a shout out, you ever want to hop on stream, let me know. I have fun too. That's why I do this every week. And I am glad that it only lasted an hour because I do have stuff to do tonight. This has been great. Thank you so much. And we'll end the stream there. We'll see you guys next year, it's a little bit of ways, but I think it'll come pretty quick. But I appreciate you all and take care. Yeah.